Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us on ArkansasTechNews.com. We have the pleasure today of being joined by Dr. Sean Reed, Associate Professor of Music at Arkansas Tech University, as well as Jackie Rupp, Park Interpreter at Mount Nebo State Park. And Dr. Reed and Ms. Rupp are with us today because we're going to discuss a very special event at Arkansas Tech University. You know, as we've made our way through 2020, a number of our traditions have been taken away from us this year because of the pandemic. And one of those is definitely Brass in the Clouds. And we missed that event this year, but wanted to take this opportunity to sit down and talk a little bit about the past and the present and the future of this very meaningful event for our Department of Music at Arkansas Tech University. And Dr. Reed, I just wondered if you could start out by providing us with a history of Brass in the Clouds.
Sure. I love talking about Brass in the Clouds, and I miss it too. I contacted Dr. Gary Barrow, our former trumpet professor who started Brass in the Clouds just recently, and he sent me a little brief blurb about this of Brass in the Clouds. So this is what he wrote. Brass in the Clouds came about as a quest to reach audiences outside of the ones at Witherspoon Auditorium. So that's usually where we perform. It's for our school functions. And this was about the university brass choir at the time. So brass choir, is a mixed ensemble of different brass instruments, and Dr. Barrow was the director of that group. The idea came about by Deanne Barrow, Dr. Barrow's wife, after a fall visit to the Natural Bridge in Arkansas. So the first event in 2005 included euphonium soloist Clay Bob Hooten, and for those people who don't know, Clay Hooten is the band director at Dardanelle High School, and he was the euphonium soloist. And there was just a small group of curious spectators apparently at this 2005 event. So at some point, the park interpreter at that time contacted the music department wishing to make it an annual event, according to Dr. Barrow. And he acknowledges here that the year that I arrived, that was 2012, was the year that we went to what we call consort ensembles, which are groups of like instruments, in addition to the brass choir at that time. So it was just the brass choir and the trombone choir. And then after that, it bloomed into brass choir, trombone choir, smaller groups with trumpets, larger groups with trumpets, French horn ensemble, and the tuba euphonium group. And so when you go out there in the past few years, when you've gone out there to see that, the entire point has been completely covered with tech students playing brass instruments, where it used to be a small group with the sun setting behind them. Now that's just one of many. So there's a lot of people out there just playing. I asked Dr. Barrow about events over the years before I got here. Did anybody ever fall off the mountain? Did anybody? No, thank goodness. Thankfully, we've never had that happen. He said one year a lad ran around behind the stage precariously close to the edge, giving concern to all moms in attendance. So now we've got so many brass players out there that I think it would be hard for a kid to get past them. So he said that one year, there's been wind, there's been cold, there's been blazing heat, and I can attest to that. But the event was shut down only once. There was a terrific rain that came out of nowhere right in the middle of a trombone solo, and everybody just scattered. So in my 8 years here, I think I just outlined pretty much what it's grown into. And I would just say that it's really thrilling to be up there. It's amazingly beautiful, and to see all those people in the community come out. Every year at this time, I go up there, and it reinvigorates me and reminds me why I moved here, and I love it and I miss it.
You touched on a couple of them there. What are some of the factors that really make Brass in the Clouds such a special event for those who are involved with it, both as performers and as those of you who are, organize it, and then also the audience?
Well, musicians love to play. We love to play together. We love to perform, and we love to do it in a bucolic, beautiful setting like that. There's nothing more dreamy than playing music up there and looking out into the the vast, beautiful river valley. And it's usually it can be hot, but then when the sun comes down, it's very cool. The parents of the students always come to this event. They come to a lot of their events, but they come to this event. They sit there. They bring water. They hang out. They commiserate. They take pictures before and afterwards. I'd say it's a large group of parents by compared to what I'm used to. It's like all of them. Like if I was a kid and I was playing in Brass in the Clouds, of course I would have my parents and my grandparents and out there. As far as the community is concerned, I remember many times dropping off my son at preschool or being in some random place and having a stranger come up to me and tell me that they saw me in the newspaper and they're absolutely going to go see Brass in the Clouds again because it's their favorite thing to do every year. And when you go up there, that's one of the things that I think is really cool. The original idea behind it, that it would appeal to an audience that would be broader or different than the Witherspoon audience, has really worked. I think we still get our Witherspoon audience, and we get even more of them. But then we get people in the community who look forward to it every year, and it's just beautiful. I mean, I miss it. I really do. I just really love how excited I get about it every time at this time of year. And it's really something that starts the year with a lot of energy in the music department, because all of the brass players are working very hard, very early on, to put this thing together every year, and it's going to be good. We absolutely want it to be great. So, that's part of the shape of our year as a music department. I would say it energizes the whole department because everybody wants to be out there.
Of course, the Arkansas Tech University Department of Music is only one half of the collaboration that makes Brass in the Clouds the special annual event that it is. The other half of that collaboration are our partners at Mount Nebo State Park, and we want to bring Jackie Rupp into the conversation. And Jackie, if you could just share with us a little bit from the standpoint of the state park, why this is such an important and beneficial partnership for Mount Nebo State Park.
Well, first, it is such a special event for us, and we also love getting people out in the park, and it's different for us. We don't have people coming up to play music as a big event for people to come out and enjoy, so it is really a special and different event. And just to echo what you guys have already said, we are devastated that we could not have it this year. Yeah, we were very sad.
And Sean, picking up there with that idea, as you've had a chance to converse with your faculty colleagues, I know that Dr. TJ Perry is also very involved in this, and the students who are so involved in this from a performance standpoint, how have all of you, I don't want to use the word grieve because that may be too strong, but how have you processed the loss of this event for this year?
Well, we are looking forward to, we're looking backwards at some wonderful Brass in the Clouds, and we're looking forwards to the next Brass in the Clouds. And this event is part of the loss of most of our events. And so what we have been doing is focusing on music making and doing what musicians do all the time. There's a thing that musicians say to each other often, which is that the performance is where we just let other people come and share what we do. But like really the important thing that we do is that we get together and we make music and we work hard on our craft, and we share, together the way that other artists in the performing arts do. But it's not 100% true, because there's nothing more thrilling than having the audience there and coming and playing for them, and the adrenaline does something different, and the performance will always be different. So our ensembles are doing a variety of different things. I'll speak for mine, the two that I direct right now, the jazz ensemble and the trombone choir. Both of those groups are meeting outside. So we're meeting outside of Witherspoon with masks with holes in them for our mouthpieces, with bell covers, socially distanced, 6 feet for everybody, 9 feet for trombones because of the slide. And we are meeting out there. I wouldn't say rain or shine. When it's rainy, we can't do it. But when it's hot or windy, wind is a major factor. Wind, we're out there, and I've got a little tent that covers me. I've been out there with an umbrella before we found the tent. I've got videos of this, and I'm going to string them together at some point. I'm putting video of the jazz ensemble and the trombone choir together to see if I can offer something online for our audiences who miss us, because we miss you too. The trombone choir is fighting cicadas and darkness too, because we meet on Thursday evenings from 6 to 7:30. So I've got some beautiful recordings of us, video of us playing, and it should be incredibly serene. But the cicadas in the tree above us are just screaming, and then it's getting dark, and but we are making music any way we can. I have to say, it's not possible really to make music virtually together with other people. It's not practical. And so but we're doing everything we can to pre-record things too. And in the case of the jazz ensemble, we have a partnership coming up with some people in Germany. We went to Germany and Austria last year, and we're going to make some virtual partnerships musically with them at the end of the semester. We've created a class that we're team teaching together with our friends in Germany. So we're doing what everybody else is doing. We're making it up as we go along, trying to hit a moving target on a train that's left the station. And we're going to keep doing that. But I just want to pick up on something that Jackie said and just say, we miss you too, Jackie. And I miss every year working with you on this and planning, how we're going to do everything. I always love to hear what you have to say to our audience. And I know they're going to, they're going to look forward to seeing you in the future when we can do it again.
Absolutely. I was talking with my superintendent this morning, and he said, be sure and say that we've gotten calls about Brass in the Clouds. So not only are we missing it and you guys are missing it, but our park visitors are missing it. So definitely the community, the Nebo community and the tech community, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, and Jackie, this has touched every aspect of our society. This pandemic has, and there's been more opportunities for people to get out and enjoy the great outdoors, though, as part of this. What have been some of the ups and downs in a general sense for Mount Nebo State Park as you and the staff there have worked to navigate this most unusual time?
Oh, wow. First, I want to say that we are very grateful to be in parks because lots of people are viewing this as an opportunity to get outside, which is so great. So what a great time to be in parks. But yeah, we've had a ton of people come. Our campground is constantly full. And so that's great. And we've got mountain biking trails that were just added to our park. So we've got folks coming in for the mountain biking. And of course, our cabins are always popular. The only thing that could have made this year better was, of course, Brass in the Clouds. So we are definitely on the up and up at Mount Nebo State Park. But like I said, we are excited to have Brass in the Clouds back next year.
Well, and that's really where I wanted to leave our conversation. I wanted to give both of you an opportunity to look ahead to better times and hopefully 2021. And specifically as it relates to Brass in the Clouds, what will it be like when those who love this event so much are able to be together again on a September Saturday evening in 2021? And Jackie, if you don't mind, we'll start with you.
Oh, it's gonna be wonderful. Like, it's just one of the best times of the year. I love it. And to have missed it this year, I think it's gonna be way more exciting next year just for that big oomph, getting everybody back together and seeing Dr. Reed and Dr. Perry, and seeing everybody just out and about and ready to enjoy some music.
And Sean, same question for you. What do you feel like it'll be like as you try to envision that moment in your mind when, after waiting a full extra year for this joyous occasion, what will it be like to have that group together again?
It's always thrilling, but I can't even imagine how amazing the energy is going to be up there when we can all meet again. And I know that that what we will do is what we've always done. We'll get together, we'll talk about it, we'll plan for it, and it continues to evolve into something better and better. I would just say that we have to see what 2021 holds, and the next time we have it, it will be safe. That will be the thing that we will have as our bottom line, and we are just hoping, like everybody, keeping our fingers crossed and hoping and wishing that there will be an end to this pandemic and that we'll be able to get out there. But the excitement, I can't imagine. It's going to be electric.
Thank you for joining us for this conversation about Brass in the Clouds. To learn more about the Arkansas Tech University Department of Music, visit atu.edu/music. Until next time, so long, everybody.